just talk. You do your thing.
Okay.
We've had...
Crazy.
It's insane. Okay, we are live. Yeah, no, I'm just putting it up on
Cool.
my phone so I can read the chat and everything.
Cool.
Okay. Let's see if we can
Awesome.
hear you. Okay, we are live.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, cool. Okay. Awesome. I shall intro. Welcome to Flag on the Play. Sam and I are just going to talk NFL as usual. Welcome to our new Tuesday night stream because Fridays don't work for us anymore.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Now that uni started again, it's
yeah.
scheduling issue.
Yeah.
Really.
But it works better for us because we can review the week straight after it's happened. We can look forward to next week.
Yeah.
And talk about the crazy things that have already happened this week. No, don't score a touchdown. Please don't score a touchdown. It's all good. I'm just losing to the Raiders. So yeah, let's start off with like the title, Trouble in Texas. Texans and Cowboys have had weeks that need talking about.
So the Cowboys are 1-3. I'd like to start with the Cowboys actually.
Go on.
They lost to the Browns. The Browns have actually a really good offense this year.
Yeah.
They do look dangerous.
Yeah.
I think they might get to the playoffs.
Oh wow, bold statement. Okay.
If you think Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt at running back.
Nick Chubb did get injured.
He did, but
do we know how long?
Hunt is still.
Yeah, true. Do we know how long for? That's what I was going to ask.
Let me have a look if it's coming up here, or if it'll be on the. He's been put on. He's on IR.
Okay.
I don't know how long that's going to be for, but he's.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, Kareem Hunt's still good.
Kareem Hunt's very good. Yeah.
If you look at the Cowboys, they have one of the worst defenses in the league this year.
Yeah, it's amazing. I read a stat somewhere.
Partially due to injuries.
Yes, big part of that's due to injuries.
Yeah.
So they've had Sean Lee's out, Leighton Vander Esch has been out. Who else was out? I'm trying to remember now. Oh, Chidobe Awuzie was out.
Yep.
Carry on. Sorry, I've forgotten the rest.
Sean Lee, Anthony Brown, Leighton Vander Esch, Chidobe Awuzie are their defensive players who are out, who are on IR anyway.
Yeah.
Defense wins championships.
Yeah, always.
Offense wins games. Defense wins championships.
Yeah. Which is ironic because I read a stat that the Cowboys have the second best offense in terms of yards, but the worst defense. And that's just, if you ever need proving of the fact that you need if you need to ever upgrade your team, if you want to win, if you want to be a good franchise, all of these things, defense has to come first. The Cowboys are proving that this season. That
if
you have the league leader in passing yards.
You want to upgrade your
Yeah. Go on, sorry, carry on.
They lead the league in receiving yards.
Yeah. And bear in mind that one win.
Your team,
yeah, go on.
If you want to upgrade your team in one single season, all in on defense.
Yeah.
If you can hold a team to 15 or so points in a game, every game, you're putting your offense in the best possible chance to win those games for you as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. No, continue with what you were saying. Sorry,
I've completely forgotten what I was going to say now. I was saying
their one win was against the Falcons.
Sorry, yeah. No, that's it. Their one win was an amazing comeback against the Falcons. And literally, they wouldn't have won that game had the Falcons jumped on that on that onside kick.
Exactly, yeah.
It's literally the difference between them being 1-3 and 0-4 is the Falcons not jumping on an onside kick.
Yeah.
So as much as that game was great and the Cowboys did a great job for coming back, again, we've talked about the Falcons loads. A lot of that is to blame on the Falcons rather than the Cowboys playing well.
Yeah. Right, other Texas team.
Other Texas team. Bill O'Brien. Bill O'Brien, general manager, head coach.
Should have gone earlier.
Should have gone earlier is the opinion here. Is the opinion here. The Texans are 0-4, and I think we said last week the Vikings was going to be a big game because you sort of expect the Texans to lose to the Chiefs and the Ravens. The Steelers, we weren't sure how good. Yeah, we weren't sure how well the Steelers were going to play. The Steelers proved that they're a good team, so you sort of expect them to lose that one as well. The Vikings had an 0-3 start as well as the Texans. The Texans and the Vikings was going to be a great game because both of those teams, well, finally one of them was going to get to win, but both of them had to prove they were still a good team.
Yeah.
And I think...
So the Vikings have scored kind of 30 points in a couple of games. They scored 30 against the Titans.
Yeah.
And they've scored 30 against the Texans this week.
Yeah.
But they were also held to 11 against the Colts.
Yeah. The Colts have a really good defense this year, though. That is something to mention.
They do. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, my opinion, Bill O'Brien should have gone earlier.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think any one person should have that much power over a football team.
No, I read a really great quote whilst I was kind of researching the firing and stuff, and they were saying that a general manager has a long-term view for the team, whereas the coach has a short-term view for games, for winning, for looking after the players that are there. And more often than not, if you put a person in position in both of those positions, it's difficult. It's hard for them. And so more often than not, it's not successful. It doesn't work. Because you're forcing...
And also...
Go on. Sorry. No, I was gonna say, you're forcing someone into two different mindsets, and that means their decisions are going to be confused. And I think that was more than clear in the DeAndre Hopkins trade.
Yeah, absolutely.
I understand that the Texans had a need at running back, and I understand that DeAndre Hopkins is not the youngest of wide receivers, but what you gave up was not as good as what you got in, either in terms of value or as it turns out, in terms of production. If you were trading,
they have one of the worst rushing offenses this year.
Oh wow! Okay, yeah.
I think it goes even all the way back to the Jadeveon Clowney trade.
Yeah, like you're getting like, okay, the Titans haven't had the best defense this year, but at least I watched the Titans-Jaguars game as a Jaguars fan, and he's everywhere. Yeah. Like, he may not be getting sacks, but he's constantly putting pressure on offenses, and he's so dangerous. Maybe not. I was about to say not the youngest, younger than Hopkins anyway, but I don't understand why these trades have been made. I understand why he's done them, because the pieces that he's brought in make sense for that franchise. But it's almost as if you're playing Madden, getting rid of the older good guys for kind of... But that's the thing, is if you're playing Madden, you get rid of old good guys for lots and lots of kind of draft picks and trades and things, and you go get younger guys.
Good draft picks as you can, yeah.
Whereas
what the Texans have done is they've gone and got a 27-year-old running back who hasn't helped them.
Yeah.
They have the worst rushing attack in the league.
Yeah.
This year, 294 yards over 4 games.
Gosh, yeah. And you look at
that into context, the best rushing attack is the Browns with 818.
Yeah. Gosh.
It's
Yeah. That's massive.
Let me have a look at where their passing attack is.
While you're looking that up, I'm going to talk about Deshaun Watson, because
I'm middle of the plot.
Okay, I was going to say Deshaun Watson is interesting because from what I've watched of their games, their offense just doesn't seem to be in sync. Deshaun Watson is not a bad quarterback, and their receivers are not bad receivers. They just don't seem to be clicking whatsoever. because there are balls overthrown, there are balls dropped, there seems to be... There was one amazing play in the Vikings game. I think it's Eric Kendricks at full stretch. He sort of holds himself halfway between Watson and the receiver, so that Watson decides to throw it rather than run. Because if he runs, I think Watson gets the first down. But he throws it.
That sort of player, yeah. He goes for it, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and because he throws it, Kendricks has put himself in such a position that he dives and one-handed swats it away from the receiver. Unbelievable defensive
Eric
play.
Kendricks is he's one of the most underrated linebackers in the league.
Yeah, absolutely.
In my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm completely on board with that. And but what I found interesting about that play is I think that sums up a lot of where the offense is having problems. Deshaun Watson either has to trust his receiver's going to do something with it, or he needs to trust his own ability to run it, and his receiver needs to do something about that as well. And that's what I found really interesting, because his receiver doesn't move. The receiver just stays there, which gives Kendricks complete control of both parties. Whereas if the receiver moves, that drags Kendricks away, and then that gives Watson the opportunity to run. And just none of that is happening. And I found that really intriguing. And like Matt said, in the problem sounds like a training problem rather than individuals. I completely agree. They've got really talented individuals in that Texans team. So I'm not.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not quite sure what's happening that's leading them to struggle so much on offense. They are struggling offensively.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to get any better for them though next year. The amount. This is why I think he should have gone earlier. Jadeveon Clowney, DeAndre Hopkins, only getting a running back and 2 fourth-round picks.
Yeah,
I think, and like a second-round pick or something. If you're trading away the best receiver in the NFL, one of the best defensive ends in the NFL, you want to get first-round picks.
Yeah.
You don't trade them for anything less than first-round picks.
No. And the Jaguars had that problem with Ngakoue. They couldn't find anyone that wanted to trade with them. So it's understandable that if someone doesn't want to trade with you, you lower it down to get rid of them. But
the amount it was lowered down by.
Yeah, I think it's... I can't tell whether it's just well played by other teams by forcing them to do it for lower, because Ngakoue went for so much less than they should have as well. But even then, Ngakoue went for, I think, a second, even though he should have costed a first. A second is still better than what they drafted him at. And I think that's the thing with Jadeveon Clowney. Wasn't Jadeveon Clowney a first overall pick?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was actually.
So even a first-round pick is going to be lower than... I think, so that means that anything... That's the thing that kind of muddles that pick any less as well. It's just...
First overall pick in the 2014 draft.
Yeah, crazy.
And he's traded for kind of... nothing.
Was it I think it was a third. Which isn't awful, but it's not kind of talented pass rusher, number 1 overall pick, who has been productive. He's not the best in the league. But
in exchange for Clowney, the Seahawks sent Jacob Martin and Barkevious Mingo and a third-round pick.
Okay. So Martin...
You see what the Texans are doing. Right?
Yeah, Martin and Mingo I've heard of. They're good. They're solid players. They're guys that have been around for a while, haven't been cut because they're solid backups or they're fringe starters. And that's...
Yeah.
And so...
I would have said Martin is more of a backup than Barkevious Mingo. I would say Mingo starts most of the time. But still, that sort of trade is... You need to get value for your good players. And you can't... And then you're trying to coach a team that has been detrimented by the bad decisions you've made as a GM.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. But I guess the question is now, where do they go from here? Because they've got a guy filling in, but you look at the... I'm trying to think of other teams. loads. Well, I was going to say, trying to look at other teams and think of examples. All the other teams that have either fired coaches and GMs and stuff are really struggling to fill those gaps. Like, you think of the Jets at the moment having Adam Gase fill in at GM, and equally the moves made there are really questionable. And it's a bit like, is the NFL short of general managers at the moment? Or are they?
I mean, I would suggest the Texans have a look, find someone who knows how to do business with players.
Yeah.
So even look into GMs from NBA or something. Someone who knows what he's doing.
Yeah. Business first, and
players
then
and player. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can get good value for those players, and you can build up a good team,
Yeah.
and then get a coach who knows what he's doing. Essentially.
Yeah, I would
Don't
even
get
like
someone inexperienced.
I would even go as far as say, because another great quote I heard this week was, Bill O'Brien, the GM, got Bill O'Brien, the coach, fired. And
absolutely.
so I would even go as far as say, Texans, keep Bill O'Brien in your phone book, and when it hits the off season, if you fill that GM position, think about bringing him back as a coach. Potentially, because he's been there 7 years. Texans have won 2 division titles, gone to the playoffs. He knows this team. He knows how to coach. He doesn't know how to.
There's no. It doesn't seem like there's any kind of bad habits or anything from him as a head coach.
No,
like there is, say, Dan Quinn and stuff in Atlanta.
Yeah. The only thing I would say is there've been some bad calls, and the more play calling he has taken on, the Texans. Well, I wouldn't necessarily the worst, but it hasn't got better.
I
so
would say Texans try and rebuild this season, but from what Bill O'Brien's done as GM, listen to the picks that Houston has this year.
Yeah.
You have one third-round pick, 2 fourth-round picks, 5th, 3 sixths, and a 7th.
Wow.
They don't have a single pick in the first 2 rounds, despite trading away DeAndre Hopkins, best receiver in the NFL.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I was going to say arguably the best, but I don't even think you have to argue that at times. Like
you can't rebuild with those draft picks. So they're in a really difficult spot.
Yeah.
You either have to have a really not a very good draft this year, leading to a not a very good team next year, and have a couple of maybe 2, 3, 4 seasons of not doing very well because they've traded away a lot of their draft capital.
Yeah.
Or trade away some of their better players for some draft capital.
Yeah. If you were the Texans owner right now, sorry, I'm sort of answering this question in my head as I'm asking it, and I'm kind of blown away as well. If you were the Texans owner right now, what on earth do you do? Like we've talked about what sort of guy we would look for as a GM, but the position that your franchise is in, you have no GM, you have an interim head coach, or I don't know actually. I know they have an interim guy. I'm not sure where he's interiming, but
I think he's the head coach.
Okay.
Let me have a look.
And so sorry.
I think he's like 70 or something.
Okay. That has its ups and downs. I mean, so yeah, you're a Texans owner. You have an interim guy, no kind of official GM, no head coach. You don't have any picks in the first 2 rounds. You have the worst rushing offense in the league. You're 0-4.
It doesn't make any sense to tank this year.
No, and that's the thing is you can't tank. It's just I know people talk about.
You can't tank this year because you don't have any draft picks.
No, that's true.
And if you trade away players to tank this year, you're picking up draft picks from other teams who will be wanting to do well, and so you get late round draft picks.
Yeah.
Just to clear up, associate head coach Romeo Crennel will take over as interim head coach.
Okay. Makes sense.
He is 73, has previously served as head coach in Cleveland and Kansas City. So potentially he could do well.
Yeah, I think he's got coaching experience.
He's been a head coach before. He's got plenty of experience.
Yeah, that's. Yeah, he's got head coaching experience. I just hope he does well. That's all I have to add to that, really.
It is such a difficult one for the Texans now.
Yeah, because and this is I completely understand why he's been fired, because he's left the team in this position, and the owner is sort of sitting there going, "What do we do? What's the plan now?"
Yeah,
like it doesn't.
It's really difficult for people to sign on to something when they don't know where it's going. So I reckon that's entirely why he's been fired, because front office, or not front office, but like owners and chairmen, people like that don't know where this is going.
Yeah.
You're an 0-14, you don't have much draft capital, you don't have as talented a squad as you did the year before.
Yeah. I would be...
Where's that going?
Yeah. Okay, if it were me, this is my thinking. I would do a similar thing to the Jaguars. So the Jaguars didn't fire their head coach, but brought in an offensive coordinator with head coaching experience, who's a very good offensive coordinator, wasn't a great head coach. And you can see the way that he has transformed that offense.
Yeah.
And so I would do a similar thing. I think I would bring Bill O'Brien back as the head coach. And because he knows the team. He's been there 7 years. He clearly knows what he's doing as a head coach because he's won divisions. I think you bring in either an assistant head coach, or maybe you need a new offensive coordinator who has head coaching experience to provide the support for Bill O'Brien. Let them do the play calling, and let them develop with Deshaun Watson, because Deshaun Watson's clearly a great quarterback and just needs someone to develop with him and this offense to gain that chemistry and develop. And I think the running backs, David Johnson and Duke Johnson, aren't bad running backs. I think they will develop as time goes on as well.
Yeah. I think...
and then you've got to go find yourself a really good GM. And then you've just got to let next draft go, because there's nothing you can really do about that.
Yeah.
I think that would be my plan. I would potentially even get Adam Gase, because he was offensive coordinator for like Peyton Manning or something at some point. So he clearly sort of knows what he's doing. Coordinator anyway. And we're expecting him to go. We're expecting him to go.
I think that the Texans should go for a coordinator from the Chiefs.
Ooh, yeah.
Eric Bieniemy, Steve Spagnuolo.
Yeah, good idea.
Steve Spagnuolo has had experience coaching. He was Rams head coach.
Okay.
2009 to 2011.
Okay.
He went like 11-40 or something.
Oh dear.
But that's the 2009 to 2011 Rams. Which aren't the best team.
Yeah.
Eric Bieniemy's been doing really well with the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Who was that? Mike Kafka's been doing well.
Okay.
Quarterbacks coach, passing game coordinator.
Yeah.
Look at people like that,
Yeah.
On stellar teams.
Yeah.
I would say Steve Spagnuolo.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because he's done really well with the Chiefs, and the Texans need an identity. I think is another thing. Bring in an identity and go, this is what we want to do.
Yeah.
And then you get the board signed on for the next couple of years because you're like, okay, he has a plan. He knows what he wants to do. He knows the system he wants.
Yeah.
He's not just trading away things for the sake of it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I agree with what Matt said. Yeah, I agree with what Matt said. If you don't have good enough quality coordinators, you aren't going far. I think that's something that a lot of teams have recognised within the league, and that's why they keep hiring these good coordinators as head coaches, because they're good at their jobs. And that's what you and it's interesting that you find teams who have lost their coordinators. Think about the Falcons since Shanahan's gone.
Yeah,
like that.
That's a really good point.
If you're not replacing them with other good candidates, you struggle. And so, like, the Patriots have kept Josh Daniels in that offense, and he clearly knows how to run an offense. Whatever QB's in there, like,
he's done really well with them. Yeah. No, sorry. Continue.
I think that's all I was going to say. I think on that.
I think we should move on from Texas for the time being.
Yeah, go on. Is there? I can't think of anything else in week 1 that's worth talking about. I'm trying.
Joe Burrow gets his first win of the season.
Yeah, we're not talking about that.
Eagles beating the 49ers.
I will say this about the Bengals game. I predicted the Jaguars to win because I thought rush defense would play well against Mixon, who hasn't played well this season. And actually, an interesting.
Your mouth in that one a little bit.
A little bit, but also Joe Mixon got his first game with over 20 carries, and you think about the games, the Browns Bengals game we were talking about, in which Joe Burrow threw 60 times. Like, imagine if you take 20 of those off and give it to Joe Mixon. Like, it changes a game. It doesn't necessarily give you more productivity, but it gets Mixon more comfortable with Burrow in that, and just more comfortable in the offense because we haven't had a preseason. Not only that, because you're taking those throws away from Burrow, you're protecting him a little bit more. And you're also.
What I will say with the Bengals moving forwards, this season, don't wait until next season. This season, make a trade, get an offensive lineman.
Ooh, yeah, okay.
Get someone who is solid and will hold up the line and protect Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Because he absolutely will get injured this season. Not even like a couple of years down the road. He will get injured this season.
Yeah.
If you don't protect him.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's getting hit way too much.
Yeah, and considering that Bengals O-line gave Mixon as many yards as he did, I don't think they have an excuse for the poor pass protection that they've given up. So I agree with you. You need to go out and find probably I imagine it's the left tackle side, because I don't actually know. Oh yeah, no, Jonah Williams should be playing well though. I say should be, but he was injured for a year. I'd agree with you. I also disagree. I don't disagree. I don't understand how they could give Mixon so many rushing yards and give up so many sacks.
Yeah. I don't understand it, but they absolutely need to sort that out.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree. Yeah. No, I absolutely agree. Yeah, I didn't actually watch this game, which is annoying.
I watched a little bit of it, but 49ers without so many people without so many players, skill positions and stuff. It's always going to be rough to win games like that.
Yeah, it's actually
putting yourself in a place to get points and be close to winning a game is impressive.
Yeah. I will say this actually. Eagles is quite a good game to go on to, because you look at Carson Wentz's career. that's how Joe Burrow's career will go if they don't sort out that O-line.
Absolutely.
Because there was a great quote by the 49ers, I think it was head coach. I think he said it about Carson Wentz, that in the year the Eagles won the Super Bowl, Carson Wentz was their best player, and then obviously he gets injured, which is tragic. It's kind of we don't. I absolutely believe they still would have won that Super Bowl if he was playing.
Yeah. And they played really well that year, and Carson Wentz was amazing. He was MVP candidate, really.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that
is what's going to happen to Joe Burrow.
And I think, equally, that's what's going to happen to Joe Burrow. Carson Wentz is not a bad QB. It's just because of everything that's happened around him that they are struggling, the Eagles, to mainly due to injuries, to consistently win games because their talented players aren't being given enough rest by the supporting crew.
Yeah.
Like Zach Ertz and Carson Wentz are playing out of their skin to win a game, even if it is against the second team of the 49ers.
Yeah.
But what was my point? But if you imagine a kind of a fully healthy Eagles team, that those guys can continue to play out of their skin, but that will do even more in terms of productivity because they're being given rest on.
Yeah.
Because they can confidently hand it to a running back who's going to who's going to give them yards and give them the play action passes. He can confidently throw it to receivers he knows are going to catch it. And I'm not saying that the Eagles backups or backup, actually it is the backup O-line, but I'm not saying the Eagles backup running backs and wide receivers are playing well. They're playing decently. It's that backup O-line that.
Yeah,
as we're seeing on the Bengals, that creates injury problems for Carson Wentz. That essentially takes everything away. It takes away your time. It takes away your blocking, and because those things disappear, that takes everything away from you. And it's like, if anyone asks what's the most important position, I know loads of people love to say that the quarterback is the most important position. But actually,
49ers have shown it's not.
No, exactly. And if you look at which teams are doing well and which teams aren't doing well in the league, they are defined by how well their O-line is doing. You look at Joe Burrow's statistics versus his record, it's really it doesn't they don't compare because his O-line isn't giving him the opportunity to win these games. Equally, the Jaguars are proving you need a good defensive line, or even with such an awful offensive line as the Bengals, Joe Burrow still has time to win those games. The time he didn't have in other games because his O-line was so bad, because the Jaguars' defensive line isn't putting any pressure on. It doesn't matter whether that O-line's good or not. Burrow's got the time to do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
And I agree with Matt. A fully healthy Eagles team with the receivers. If you look at the receivers they've got on their injury reserve, I think Miles Sanders is a great running back. They need to extend Zach Ertz and get Dallas Goedert back as well. But yeah, that Eagles offense looks really, really dangerous. The defense, I think it may be lacking in some areas. They let Jenkins go. Their corners aren't kind of prolific, so I am intrigued. How that team will look. But fair play to, I think, Howie Roseman. Is that the owner or the GM? I'm trying to remember who the GM is now.
I don't know.
Fair play to him for getting depth guys who can play.
Here's the thing. Sack percentage for teams this season, or sacks allowed.
Yeah.
Guess who's top?
Bengals. Or Eagles.
Oh, sorry. Bottom even, sorry.
Oh, has given up the most sacks.
Guess who's given up the least?
Least sacks. Oh gosh. Colts.
Close.
Ah,
They're third.
third
With 3.1% of every
of every
plays.
snap. Yeah, okay. Chiefs.
Yeah. Chiefs
Yeah.
are first.
Yeah.
1.96%
Yeah.
of the time.
Yeah.
Second, Green Bay.
Okay.
2.11% of the time.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, Miami are seventh with 4.05% of the time.
Wow.
But if you look at the bottom teams,
Yeah.
Houston, Baltimore, Minnesota, Giants, San Francisco, Denver, Washington, Jacksonville,
Yeah.
Detroit, Philadelphia, all above 8%. Houston have allowed sacks on 11% of plays.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And that's really that again. I wonder if that goes back into the Bill O'Brien thing that they traded for a tackle, and I think Laramie Tunsil's a good player, but either he needs to build the rest of that O line.
You don't send two. I think it was 2 first-round picks for Laramie Tunsil and Kenny Stills.
Yeah, not. Yeah.
No, you don't. You just don't. You don't. That's not a good trade.
No, no, absolutely. Yeah, the Chiefs. I watched the Chiefs game last night, and they just pull it out the bag. They're so good.
They find a way to win.
Yeah, fair play to the Patriots and their defense for doing what they can, and Brian Hoyer didn't play tragically. I mean, he wasn't great, but I stand by all that. That was fair play.
Here's alright. Green Bay Packers, #1 scoring offense in the league right now, score another 30 against the Falcons.
Yeah, I watched.
I love that game. The Falcons, second half. I think it was second half. It might have been second. It was either the second quarter or third quarter.
Yeah.
They stopped Green Bay on the 1.
Yeah.
Stopped them on 4th and goal, down on the 1-yard line.
Yeah.
They had a 20-play drive that spanned 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Guess what they got from it?
Field goal?
Yeah. 94 yards, and they get a field goal.
Yeah. And there were... Hang on. I think I watched the highlights. Was that the one they got, like, 3... 4th down conversions or something?
Yes.
They
had like 3 4th down conversions, 94 yards, 20 plays, 10 minutes long. Field goal.
Yeah.
It's silly.
Yeah, it really is.
But Aaron Rodgers, 13 touchdowns, 0 interceptions on the season.
Yeah.
Is looking absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And here's a fun fact. This is one of my favourite stats for the Green Bay Packers. 0 total turnovers.
0.
0.
Wow. Gosh.
Yeah. This whole season.
Gosh, 0 the entire season.
No interceptions, no fumbles.
Gosh. That's something.
Yeah. I mean, the Titans have 1, because they've thrown 1 pick. Chiefs have 2. Lots of teams have 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
More. You've got Cowboys and Eagles both have 9.
Gosh.
Washington and the Giants both have 8. Packers have 0 turnovers.
That. I mean, we've always known Aaron Rodgers is potentially the most talented quarterback of all time.
Yeah.
But
he never allows interceptions.
Yeah, but that really shows you that they. Not only is LaFleur playing well, but that team that the entire organisation is invested in what they're doing.
Yeah.
And clearly they are building that team right. Like, lots of people question the Jordan Love pick, and people will continue to question the Jordan Love pick, and that's fair enough. But if they did it to push Rodgers, if they opened up a conversation with him and say, hey, we're going to do this for the future of the organisation, but we still believe in you, whatever they did, it worked, and they know what they're doing.
Absolutely lit a fire. Absolutely, Rodgers has been on a tear.
Yeah.
He was, I can't remember what it was finals, but it was, at one point he was 26 of 31, 17 of 17 to running backs and tight ends.
Yeah.
4 total turnovers.
Yeah. That's a team being coached right.
Yeah.
We've talked about teams being coached wrong. That's a team being coached right.
Yeah.
I think, and we can.
I love Matt LaFleur at this point. He's an amazing head coach.
Yeah, I think we need to let's give some respect to the coaches out there. That we've talked a lot about coaches not doing well and things like that. Let's give some respect. Patriots know what they're doing, whatever quarterback they've in, and their defensive coordinator is absolutely bossing most teams that come up against them. Who else are we looking at? 49ers for play. You've got to give credit for the 49ers for their depth, even though they probably caused most of the injuries in the first place.
Yeah.
Again, Matt LaFleur clearly knows what he's doing there. Chiefs know what they're doing.
He's Matt LaFleur's from the Kyle Shanahan coaching tree.
Yeah.
Fun fact.
So the talent breeds talent. It's clearly going well.
Andy Reid's been doing amazingly for the past few years. Bruce Arians at the Bucks.
Yeah, another guy clearly doing really well.
Yeah, I've always liked Bruce Arians. Actually.
Yeah, he's a good coach. Really good coach.
Really good coach.
I will say this, Matt. Yes, the Chiefs-Patriots game was quite underwhelming, but it proved that both teams knew what they were doing and were holding each other really well. Or at least that's what I took away from it. Yeah. Should we go on to some predictions?
Okay. Right, Thursday night game.
Buccaneers
game. Versus the Bears.
Oh, good one. Okay. Who did the Bears play this week?
Colts.
And they very much lost.
They
very much lost. Yeah,
it wasn't really that close.
No, and it's that Colts defense which is looking scary.
Yeah, Tom Brady is actually hitting his stride.
I'm actually going to disagree with that.
5 touchdowns to 5 different people.
Yes, but I think a large part of the reason the Buccaneers are winning is that defense is playing really, really solidly.
Yes.
I think Brady.
I'm not agree. They've scored a lot of points recently.
I will agree that, and I will say fair play to that because they've picked up lots of decent running backs. They've got a really good receiving core. They've got 3 top tight ends, which is just 2, which is more than you need. And this is the thing. From everything I've seen, Brady, good QB, but that's the thing. He's about as good as he was at the Patriots, and I will stand by this. Brady,
I think he's had a bit of a rejuvenation this season. He's thrown a lot more deep balls this season actually than I've seen in other seasons.
Yeah, I would agree, and I think that goes into him showing that he's a good quarterback. I will admit that. I don't think Brady is a bad quarterback by any means. I just don't actually think he's the reason they're winning, and I don't think... And I will say that about the Patriots as well, if you see what I mean. That...
Yeah.
I by no means think he's a bad player, and I by no means think he's hindering that organisation or anything by being their quarterback. I just don't think he is the reason they're winning. I think they could still be winning with Jameis Winston because of the other moves they've made. I think they could be winning with any quarterback. I don't necessarily think it's Tom Brady the reason that... I think he's playing well, but I don't think he's the reason that they are winning, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I saw bits of the Chargers game, and I think Justin Herbert, apart from some rookie mistakes, played as well as Brady did. And so what's the?
I'll give you that. Yeah.
So what's the difference there? The Buccaneers score first, and then the Chargers score 24 points unanswered, and then the Buccaneers defense holds them for the rest of the game, and gives Brady enough time to score his 24 unanswered points. And that's just so that's just so I think absolutely Buccaneers are playing well. Brady is playing well in that system, proving he's a good player. I think Buccaneers win this because that defense, Buccaneers defense is probably as good as the Colts, and will prove the Bears can't compete against the better teams.
Yeah, no, I absolutely. I think the Bears go 3-2.
Yeah. Also, interestingly, I think I would have liked to see Brady retire, and I think it makes sense for Brady to retire. But Go on, sorry. No, sorry. The fact that he has moved and is playing okay, I quite like that it shows, or it's sort of sending this message around the league that you can't judge a player because they're old. And like you look at Adrian Peterson and Frank Gore proving that age is just a number. I just think, and that's one of the things I really don't like about sports, is we kind of go, okay, they're above 30 or they're above 40, they can no longer play. It's not the case. And that's the thing with Brady, is that I think there are younger, better guys who are backups for other teams that could play equally as well as Brady. But they've built a system around Brady, and Brady's a good enough player for that team to play well. So I
think he's also proven a bit that he's not just a system QB. As in, he's moved to a slightly different system and has performed at a good level.
Yeah.
So he can learn a different playbook. He can play a slightly different system.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
He's not just a one-trick guy.
No, absolutely. And I think that's what he wanted to prove, and I think he has proved that, and I'm happy for him.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's the main thing I'll say about Brady. I'm happy for him. I don't care that much, but about his. I say I don't care that much about his talent and stuff. It was boring seeing the Patriots win every year, but
now that he's not the Patriots,
it's easier to appreciate him.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
But yes, I agree. If he retired at the Patriots, he wouldn't have had anything more to prove. He would have consolidated himself as one of the best players of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, next game.
Panthers Falcons. My man Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah, I was trying to remember if the Panthers actually won their game. They did, didn't they? They dominated. Yeah. Dominated the Cardinals as well.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got a lot to say about the Cardinals, but we'll get to that in a minute. Yeah, no, I think Teddy Bridgewater and that Panthers team.
Yeah.
They Matt Rule has had to go. I can't rely on CMC anymore. I've got to find a way to get this team rolling.
Have you seen? I think it's Davis, the backup running back.
Yeah,
has played really well.
Yeah, he has. He's played really well.
He's kind of filled that hole, really.
Yeah, he has. Yeah.
I think he's made a case for when Christian McCaffrey comes back, for the Panthers going to have to think and go, wait, this guy's really good as well. We need to get him in the game more.
I don't think you... just because it's Christian McCaffrey, you can't...
Yeah, I'm not saying take snaps away from McCaffrey. I'm saying give more snaps to...
Yeah,
Davis.
No, I absolutely agree, and I think giving McCaffrey a break will create more mismatches and more confusion for defenses, and I think that is necessary, necessary for their success and necessary to keep McCaffrey fit.
Yeah,
I also think the Falcons are really solid on offense. I think they've got all the offensive pieces they need.
They have a really banged up secondary. their defense is.
That's what I was going to say. They're
really injured right
They've
now.
got some talented pieces on that defense. Deion Jones, Grady Jarrett, but overall, that defense cannot cope with anything, like anything.
No.
So
many injuries.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't realise. Oh, I'm playing a Play Now game because nothing else was loading, and I didn't realise it was half time. Yeah, no, I think that's an easy one for the Panthers. Actually, start your Panthers players on Sunday in fantasy.
Yeah. Right, Bengals Ravens.
Ravens, no question, no question.
Yeah.
Yeah, that D line is going to obliterate the Bengals O line.
This might be the week Joe Burrow gets injured.
I think the Ravens, from what I've seen, are slightly less vicious when it comes to sacking than other teams. Because they've got guys like Calais Campbell who just who play the game fair, who just so I don't think this will be the week he gets injured. I think that may come up against a slightly more ferocious team on defense.
Eagles.
Yeah, exactly. So that could happen when he's up again.
I'm not salty about the week 4 game last season, where the Eagles basically had 2 dirty hits on 2 Packers players, sending them out of the game.
Yeah.
In the first quarter.
Yeah.
And then we went on to lose the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't carry any resentment.
No resentment at all. Yeah, I think. No, I agree with you though. That injury is probably coming. I'm surprised it wasn't against the Eagles. So.
Yeah.
But yeah. But yeah, Ravens. Right, Ravens. Yeah, absolutely win this game. No question.
Your Jaguars.
Yeah.
Texans.
Yeah. This I was going to bring this up in the Texans thing because it's weird to say the Jaguars are 1-3 and the Texans are 0-4.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be honest with you, I can't call this game because my immediate thought would be the Jaguars have not proven they can win games. I think the thing is, if they played every week like they played against the Colts, which was phenomenal, then I think they could finish this season 5-11, 6-10, 8-8, maybe something like that.
Yeah.
But that is increasingly becoming seen as a one-off and the best they can play rather than regular.
Yes. Yeah.
And that makes it really difficult for me to judge Jaguars games because the Colts have a phenomenal defense, as they've proven. Sorry, it's making me really difficult for me to evaluate games because clearly the Jaguars offense can play well but aren't always playing well.
Yeah.
Equally, the Jaguars defense can play well. Obviously, they're a whole lot worse, but they've let up an average of 30 points per game.
Yeah.
So, based on that basis, I think the Texans will win, but I think it'll be a close, high-scoring game. I think.
I'm pulling Jaguars.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
I don't have any faith in the Texans.
Interesting, yeah.
No matter how they have so much talent, but I still don't see them doing very well.
I think it will literally come down to how many passes they drop, because they will be open. There is no question they will be open, and I agree with Matt's comment that the Texans will exploit the Jags' awful defense. The Texans have dropped so many passes. If they drop passes, they will lose this game. The opportunities will be there. Yeah. Will they take them?
Yeah. Absolutely.
I think because Deshaun Watson is a generational talent, I think that's why I think that's what gives them the edge. I don't think I don't think either team has a I think there is one generational talent. There's one superstar in this entire game. As proven yet, and that's Deshaun Watson. So, and I think that's why the Texans will win. I think the Jaguars have good players. I think Texans have good players. I think Jaguars have bad players. I think Texans have bad players. The only superstar in that game is Deshaun Watson. That's why they'll win. Which really bothers me.
Yeah, I'm calling Jaguars win. I think
awesome. Yeah.
Texans have nothing to play for.
Yeah, I think this Texans game I think this game will prove. I said last week that the Jaguars Bengals game will prove a lot. It has proved a lot about the Jaguars. And I think this game as well will prove a lot about both teams. It will prove whether the Texans have just had a difficult schedule or whether they actually have talent. Or whether, like you say, they are a really bad team. And this game will also prove where the Jaguars are. Are they a one-win team that was just luck? Or are they a two-win team that can win games if they play well enough? So I really hope you're right.
Alright, next one. Chiefs-Raiders, divisional matchup. Raiders are 2-2 at the moment.
Raiders have not proved they can beat good teams. Patriots held Josh Jacobs. Bills held Josh Jacobs. And Josh Jacobs is a really key and core, were the two words I was trying to say. Parts of their... Oh, that was an awful kick by me. Core part of their offense. So yeah, I absolutely... Sorry, what am I trying to say? So I believe the Chiefs are going to win this one.
Yeah, same. Wait, Matt saying Deshaun Watson needs to move somewhere with less clumsy receivers. He's just signed a 4-year deal worth $180 million, I believe it was.
Yeah. To be fair, if a team was... To be fair, maybe it's just me. If I was a team like the Jets, looking for a generational talent, that contract would not put me off.
No.
And I was going to ask you earlier, do you think Texans need to go full rebuild and do a bit of a... which team am I thinking of? Do a bit of a Jaguars, get those... trade away your best players and get those first-round picks in, and full rebuild? Or now that you're getting a new head coach and GM?
I think you do. I think if you look at the amount of talent you have on that team and how you haven't won a single game yet...
And this is...
Yes, you've had a difficult schedule, but at the same time, you haven't really looked competitive in a lot of those games.
No, I was going to say that against the Steelers. The Steelers-Texans game was a really interesting one, because neither team looked like they really wanted to win it.
Yeah.
And that's why I think the Steelers are... I think the Steelers proved that they are the best team, and they are a good team that will continue to do well. But I think both teams were defined by their lack of competitiveness.
Yeah, absolutely. Alright, next game, Broncos-Patriots.
As far as I'm aware, Cam Newton's coming back.
I'm not sure if he'll be out 2 weeks.
I find it very...
Either way, I think the Patriots win it, to be honest. I can't see them losing that game.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, no, I completely agree. I find it very interesting. I'm interested in your take on this. There was apparently some massive outbreak amongst the Patriots of COVID and stuff. And yet when it comes to game time, the only player put on the COVID list and the only player not playing was Cam Newton. That feels very odd.
That does. I didn't hear about that.
Well,
two separate planes.
Okay.
To I don't know why. If they were just going to play together, but they went on two separate planes. The people who had been close to Cam Newton and might have potentially contracted it, and those who weren't.
Yeah.
I don't know why you would do that.
Yeah.
and then bring them all together and play them again.
Yeah, so as far as I'm aware, I haven't done loads of research into it. It's just an opinion I saw online, and I'm just interested in discussing it. Yeah, I haven't researched into it, so my facts may be completely wrong here. But yeah, because they postponed the game because there was either positive tests or there was a scare or something.
Yeah.
And yet the only player, as far as I'm aware, not playing was Cam Newton, and that feels very odd to me. And
seems wrong.
So that makes me wonder whether maybe there's something behind the scenes, maybe an injury that they don't want to tell us about, or
yeah.
So I'm very interested to see whether Cam comes back or not. Whether he does, I agree, Matt. It does seem weird, but I'm sure there's a good reason. I'll do some research and hopefully we can talk about it next week. Because if he's I agree. Whether he's back or not, Brian Hoyer's not that bad. Patriots coaches know what they're doing. I think Patriots win it.
Yeah, same. I can't see them losing that.
No.
Cardinals, Jets.
Cardinals have not been playing well, but they will beat the Jets. There's just no question.
Yeah.
Jets
are just not very good.
I feel so sorry for the good players in there. I feel really like Sam Darnold. I think Sam Darnold, once his contract's up, one of the teams with an older QB will try to do something.
Yeah, for his own sake, they have to.
Yeah, but I think that's the thing. Is I think those sorts of rumours are starting to go around. So I think, a team will hear these rumours and go, actually, let's get him while he's cheap. Rather than waiting for the Jets to give him a massive contract and then have to pay it.
If I was Sam Darnold, I would not sign not sign the extension, or wouldn't sign the 5th-year option, wouldn't sign a contract extension until you know if any other teams are interested.
Yeah. I would say as well, there are people like Jamison Crowder in there who's a fantastic wide receiver. He's not a wide receiver 1, but he could go play wide receiver 2 or 3 at a whole number of teams. He could go... Jamison Crowder.
Yes, yeah. He's been really good.
Yeah.
Okay,
I agree. This will be a change of momentum for the Cardinals. They will win this game, but their head coach will go, guys. Yes, this is a must-win game, but that means we need to win it. So I think that anxiety of losing to the Jets will help them get it into their system that they can win games and perform well.
Yeah. Oh dear. Okay, right. I'll tell you details of Sam Darnold's contract when it loads, but. In the meantime, Eagles, Steelers. Yeah.
Fair play to the Eagles. The Steelers are defensively superior, so defensively superior. There's no question there. Yeah.
Bills Titans could be a good one.
That's gonna be really good.
That's gonna be really good.
What time is that?
That is 6 p.m. kickoff.
Yeah, brilliant. That's so difficult. I don't know. What record are the Titans on?
3-0.
Oh yeah, because they had their game against...
They're getting cancelled last.
So they're well rested. Really well rested.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so difficult. Bills are proving they can beat good teams.
I think Bills win it.
Yeah, I think this will be...
Josh Allen is trying to show that he's an MVP caliber player.
Yeah, and he is. Absolutely is. Yeah. I think Bills. Wouldn't surprise me if they don't. Because the Titans have the talent and have shown that they can play really well. No, absolutely. I'm doubling down on the Bills. The Jaguars scored 20 something points on them. So, so I do.
Okay, right. Sam Darnold turns a free agent in 2023.
Yeah.
So he's got a couple more seasons.
Yeah.
And then he can decide.
Yeah.
I want to go to a team that's actually going somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I agree. Josh Allen's putting together a really good. Good season actually.
Yeah.
So I think he gets that.
Yeah.
Rams versus the football team.
Rams did beat the Giants, didn't they?
Yes, but it was a close game.
They were not convincing. Rams again are another interesting one. I think Rams sort of fit in that category with the Titans and the Titans and the Raiders, who are good. They just need to play well to beat teams.
Yeah, absolutely. They have a lot of talent.
Yeah,
they have a lot of talent, and they only put up 17 points against the Giants.
Yeah, but they won't lose to the football team. I can't see them losing to the football team.
They won't. I think Dwayne Haskins gets benched next week.
Yeah, I've heard rumours of that.
I think Ron Rivera is getting sick of him.
Yeah.
I think he gives him one more chance this week. If he doesn't perform well, he's benched.
Yeah. I'm going to go as far as I'm going to be as bold as say, benched. I think he'll play the entirety of this game.
Yeah.
Benched for Kyle Allen for the next one.
Yeah.
And then Kyle Allen will quickly prove that they should play Alex Smith instead. So, that's my...
It would be great to see Alex Smith back.
It would. And I think that... Actually, I don't know when their bye week is, but I wonder if they make their way up to the bye week and then give Alex Smith 2 weeks' notice that he's playing.
Yeah.
That's my feeling.
Right. Let me find out when their bye week is. Quickly. Oh, they've got a few games. Where's their bye? Week 8.
8. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think you try Kyle Allen out for a bit, but then Alex Smith comes in second half of the season.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. Washington will get at most 15 points. I agree. 15 points sounds about right for Washington.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go on. Next game.
Dolphins 49ers.
Is anyone coming back for the 49ers? I know they've got Kittle back.
Let me have a look. 49ers. Right. On the injury report, Ziggy Answer's out. Dante Pettis is questionable. Garoppolo's questionable. Trey Greenlaw, Mosby, Witherspoon, Mostert, K'Wan Williams. Questionable. K'Wan Williams is doubtful. On IR, they have...
So in other words, no one's coming back.
Richard Sherman, Tevin Coleman, Ronald Blair, Tavon Austin, Mark Zocha, outside linebacker, don't know, JJ Nelson, Weston Richburg, Jordan Reed, D Ford, Solomon Thomas, Richie James, Jalen Hurd, Chris Thompson, Nick Bosa, Ziggy Answers on IR, although he might have just been taken off of it. But yeah, so Kittle will be back. He's not on an injury designation.
No. Part of me is really tempted to say the Dolphins.
Same.
Because I agree with Matt, the 49ers I think are the better team, but the Dolphins are quietly proving, like Fitzpatrick said that they're aiming for the playoffs, and they're playing like it. Like, they've got some really...
Yes, they're 1-3, but...
Yeah. No, sorry. Even in their losses, they're playing like a winning team.
Yes, I think it's going to be really close, but I really want to say Dolphins.
See, that's the thing is, I don't feel like I can say Dolphins, but the fact that the 49ers just lost to the Eagles makes me think that this team is fallible, which makes me think Dolphins.
I'm going to say that as well. Yeah, we might both be wrong on this, but
yeah,
I don't want to be. I really want the Dolphins to win that one, and I can see them doing it.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Browns at home versus the Colts.
This is going to be such a good matchup. I'm really looking forward to this game. The Colts really good defense. The Browns know what they're doing on offense. They kind of, when Chubb went out, they were like, okay, let's give it to our other superstars. And
yeah.
I'm so annoyed I didn't play Odell Beckham in fantasy. 35 points. I left him on my bench. Yeah, I agree with Matt. I think this is the best game of the week. I think considering the Browns have scored near 40 points on average a week, and the Colts aren't...
they've been scoring 35 plus points a game each week.
And I think considering the Colts... Oh, hey there, Jared. Good to see you.
Yeah. Nick Chubb's on IR. David Njoku's on IR.
Yeah, but see, I think because of that, they're going to hand the ball more to Odell Beckham and Landry, and like with those wide receiver runs that worked really well. And so I think because of that, I think the I think the Browns still win even with the Nick Chubb injury, because I think the Colts will find it. I think the Browns defense is good enough to make the Colts offense struggle. So
yes,
I don't.
I'm going with you there. I agree.
I think both teams can win.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll be.
When you have a wide receiver who can throw better than your quarterback,
hand it to them all the time.
Yeah. Jarvis Landry threw an amazing throw.
Yeah,
on the money to Odell Beckham for a touchdown.
I love his comment after the game as well. He was like, I feel like I've been... what was he saying? He was like, I feel like I've been like bench pressing something or something like he was just like my arm is so dead after that one throw. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that made me laugh.
Last of the Sunday night games, or last of the Sunday games, Giants versus Cowboys. I don't see any way the Cowboys will lose this. At the same time, I can definitely see them losing this.
I know. If the Cowboys lose this one, I'm definitely getting Kat in to come to come talk about her. I'm not going to lie to you. The Giants have been really depressing, but
they have been.
But they are not. They're not completely devoid on offense. And when I say not completely devoid, Daniel Jones can throw a football.
Yes.
And who is their wide receiver? Golden Tate can catch.
Slayton.
And Slayton can catch. Oh, I just threw an awful interception. And so if the Cowboys defense is going to be the worst off defense in the league, then like the Jaguars game, if they're not going to put any pressure on Daniel Jones like the Jaguars didn't put any pressure on Burrow, get the names right.
Yeah.
I can see the Giants taking advantage of the time they are given to score points, and all it will take is a couple of defensive stops. So it'll be a really offensive game, and all it will take is a couple of defensive stops to win the game. But I agree. Now that I've said that out loud,
I think Cowboys win it.
Yeah, exactly. I think now that I've said that out loud, I can see that scenario happening. But I think the likelihood of it happening is so low. And I agree with Matt. The fact that the Giants have scored 9 points twice, just it's.
Yeah, no, I think the Cowboys take that one. And Monday night, Vikings Seahawks. Seahawks are going 5-0.
I'm going to throw a spanner into the works there.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Vikings potentially take this one.
I can see them getting a surprise fourth quarter rally, and I can see them getting it close. I can't see them winning.
Fair enough. I just think the games...
I feel like it might be like the Seahawks-Cowboys a couple of weeks back.
I was going to say more like Seahawks-Dolphins, because the Dolphins really showed the Seahawks aren't completely dominant.
Yeah.
And so that would lead me to think that if the Vikings keep momentum, which is why I think they can win this one, and it's why I think... who's home?
Seattle.
Okay, yeah, no, Seattle win this one. I think that basically the Vikings...
It's so difficult to win at CenturyLink Field.
It is.
Even
without fans, yeah.
It's one of the most difficult places to go.
Yeah.
It's possibly the loudest venue in the NFL.
Yeah.
With fans,
I think they caused a mini earthquake. I think I remember, well, not like an earthquake, but I think they caused a tremor or something, if I remember reading right. Like,
but yeah, you see, Packers went to the Seahawks for a divisional,
and that's one of his strengths,
which is insane. And you hear it in every single game, and he manages to draw people offside in every single game this season because there's been no fans, and you can hear the hard count.
Yeah.
You go to a place like Seattle, and you can't do that.
Yeah.
It takes away such a big, really big part of the game. I think Seahawks win because they have such good home field advantage.
Yeah. Yeah.
As much as the Vikings may want to keep it going, it's.
Yeah.
Seahawks take this one. Russell Wilson's been amazing.
Yeah. No, I absolutely agree.
And Tuesday night football?
Tuesday
Chargers
night?
Saints. Yeah, we've got Tuesday night football, we've got Chargers Saints.
Why have we got Tuesday night football?
Or it's Tuesday night football in here. It's Monday night football in America.
Oh, right, I see what you... Right, got it.
Because it's like 20 past 1.
Right, I see. Morning. Sorry, Tuesday, yeah, sorry, I was so confused.
Sorry, that
was
so confused. Sunday night, sorry, not Monday night.
Yeah. Sorry, Saints, Chargers.
Yeah. Actually, let me check injury report quickly. Michael Thomas is questionable.
Brilliant.
So he might.
That makes my decision a whole lot easier. Oh wait, okay. Dang it. I'm going to say Chargers.
For like 2 or 3 weeks.
I'm saying Chargers.
Okay.
Because the Saints, yes, the Saints scored 40 points against the Lions, and yes, the Lions gave up a 14-point lead. But
that's the Lions.
That's the Lions, and also it was a 14-point lead. Now imagine another team who has a better defense and is a more solid team, like the Chargers, who have been really decent defensively.
The Saints made it a game against the Packers week before last. They put up 30-odd points. Played well. The defense wasn't really there because they allowed the Packers to score like 36, 37 sort of.
Yeah.
But if the offense can keep up like that without Michael Thomas, I reckon I think the Saints win this one.
Fair enough. I think it will be close. I think it's a good matchup. If Michael Thomas is there, I definitely see the Chargers taking this one, actually. Because Herbert's good. Herbert's good.
Herbert's been playing well. Yeah, Saints won the last meeting in 2019.
Okay. Yeah, no, I yeah.
I think Saints take it. Alvin Kamara's not got an injury designation. I think he'll do well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. Is that all the games?
Yeah.
Is there any bye weeks this week then?
Packers and Lions.
Packers and Lions, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good matchup of games. It's going to be a good weekend.
It is. I think my games to watch this week for me: Chargers Saints.
Yeah.
Colts Browns. Bills Titans.
Yeah.
Potentially Raiders Chiefs. There's quite a few good games this week. Actually.
Yeah, there are. Yeah. I guess we'll end the stream there then. Now we've gone through all the games.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you everyone for watching and listening. Hopefully this will be the first. Oh my gosh, Trubisky is slow. Right, sorry. Hopefully this will be the first stream that we get uploaded to our YouTube. So go check that out. We'll be back next Tuesday, because Tuesdays are going to be our day, I think. And what was the other thing I was going to say? Let us know if there are any topics or games you'd like to see us play. I know I've been trying to play lots of things on Madden 20, but the servers are all weird. So if there's another game you'd like to see us play with something a little bit different, we're tempted to try the new college football game, which isn't very good, so that could be a laugh. But
you can play online with it, anyways.
Yeah. So. Our YouTube name is the same. Yes, it's Flag on the Play. Same logo, you'll see it. Ignore the banners saying Friday. It will be Thursday.
Tuesday.
Tuesday, not Thursday. Tuesday. Tuesdays at 7. That's what it's going to be. Brilliant. Yeah. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
And see ya.
Bye.